Good night. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I'm here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. Go ahead and put your questions in the comments so that I may answer your questions. So I'm both on YouTube and on TikTok. You feel free to put those questions in the comments, and I have a great topic for you tonight. I'm going to go back to VAWA tonight. So what if you've already applied for permanent residence through your spouse and things are not going well? Your spouse is mistreating you. They may be, abusing you physically, verbally, mentally, emotionally, financially, and you really are ready to separate, or you would like to gain some independence in the process and apply on your own. Is there a way to do that? Yes, there is. You can still go ahead and submit a VAWA application. That's the type of application in these situations that allow you to apply on your own without the spouse who's mistreating you. This could be a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident spouse. If you're in a situation like that, there is a way to get that application moved, so where you can, your adjustment of status application, if you're here in the United States, you can get it transferred and connected with a newly filed VAWA petition. That will allow you to apply on your own. Christine Sukram, nice to see you. Thanks for saying good night. Sure, Shadad, go ahead. That's why I'm here. I'm here to take your U.S. immigration related questions. If you have an immigration question, you can put it in the comments. Now, the way that this is done is, say you are halfway through your process, maybe you've even attended the interview. I have seen cases where the spouses go to the interview and then the resident or citizen spouse sabotages or messes up the interview, and they sometimes they do that intentionally, just because they don't want their spouse to get status. If their spouse gets status, they get permanent residence, then they may get the ability to work, they may get the ability to leave, they may get the ability to gain independence. And so that abusive spouse may not want that, and they go as far as to go to the interview and mess things up. Sometimes they're just being plain vindictive. And so if you're in a situation like this, you could apply for VAWA and get it transferred over to get it connected, get your VAWA petition connected to your I-485. That's the adjustment of status application. So you can, hi there, Joey, nice to see you. So you can always go ahead and take the matters into your own hands and apply for permanent residence without the spouse. So what I do is, when my clients come to me and they tell me, my spouse, I don't trust my spouse, they're abusive, I need to get out of this situation. I have a pending I-485, that's the adjustment of status application, but I don't know if I can leave and still be able to have the adjustment of status application go forward. The answer is yes. So what I do is, as soon as we get the application filed, we get in touch with the USCIS office and let them know that my client has applied for VAWA and we would like it to be held in place until a decision is made on VAWA. Once it's approved, then the adjustment of status application can move forward. The great thing about this process is that you may have a work permit connected to this adjustment of status application, and that work permit application can continue to be pending while you wait for your VAWA petition to be processed. Okay, so your I-485 to get approved, how do you go about that? Sheddad is going to depend on what's the underlying petition connected to your adjustment of status. Is it VAWA? Is it a marriage base? Is it a family base? Is it employment base? It's going to come down to, so the I-485 is really dependent on whether you qualify for the benefits that you're applying for, usually connected to that petition. When you file for VAWA and get a prima facie, what's next? So the prima facie, in some states, it can be used to obtain benefits. If you need to obtain benefits like a driver's license, or you need to get public benefits, assistance, this could be a good, the prima facie would be good in some states, not every state, unfortunately. So you can check with your state to see if you're eligible for ID, for a driver's license, for any specific type of benefits that you would need in that particular state. After that, the prima facie, usually you're going to wait for your work permit if you applied for a work permit, or you're going to wait for the decision on the VAWA. Now, decisions are taking anywhere, it's taking over a year. It could take up to 2 to 3 years to get a decision on the VAWA applications. The good thing is that while you're waiting for the decision, in many cases, you can get a work permit while you're applying. Advice on applying for TIN while not in filing process. So you don't have to be in a filing process to get what's called the ITIN number. Usually you can get it by going to a tax assistance agent, or through filing, you will complete a specific form that will be sent with your tax return. And then when that tax return comes back, you'll get your assigned ITIN number. The best place to go is go to a tax person who can help you to get that, a tax filing person. And Vadka, thanks so much for sharing the live. I appreciate it. So keep putting those questions in the comments while I'm here. I just finished talking about the topic of applying for VAWA, even though you may be in the middle of your marriage-based process already. That is possible, especially in situations where you really need to get out of that, that volatile situation, that dangerous situation. It may be unhealthy for your well-being. And in this case, you can now always get personalized legal advice. However, generally speaking, once I determine that my clients qualify for VAWA, the next thing is I tell them, if you are in a bad situation, you can leave the situation and know that you qualify for VAWA. As a matter of fact, you are priority. So that's another thing. Your well-being is priority. No matter what, if you're in an abusive situation, I know it's complex. I know you have different considerations, but walk away from a situation that's going to make you question your sanity, your well-being. Make sure that you get to a safe space, no matter what happens. However, if in the case you qualify for VAWA, you don't have to stay with that person. You don't have to continue living with them. Always get legal advice. I am available for consultations. You can go to the link in my profile. It will lead you to a site where you'll have various options. You could go to the website. You could schedule your own appointment. If you go to the website, you'll see a contact form, you'll see the online chat right now, and you'll see the phone number. All three of those are going to lead to the scheduling coordinator. So Shiva sold. I am in Boca Raton, Florida. However, as a U.S. immigration attorney, I run a national practice. Of course, my office has to be based somewhere, and it is in Florida where I live. But my clients are all over the country and the world. So if you have a U.S. immigration issue, I can help you with it. What's the next step after your EAD is approved? They're going to generate the card and send it to you after your employment. This is your work permit, so your employment authorization document. They're going to send you a card generate the card and send it. And they usually put in the case status update that they've already sent it. I got travel document by VAWA. How many days I can stay outside of the US? I wouldn't be able to tell you that. I mean, you shouldn't be spending extended periods of time outside of the United States. And I often advise my clients to just travel as is necessary. However, Vala, remember that I'm only giving general information. I don't know your situation. I don't know your circumstances. And so I wouldn't be able to advise you about the specific number of days. However, when I have determined that, yes, my clients can leave, I advise them to make it short and sweet. Vadka, thanks for sharing the live. I appreciate it. So that is going to be my spiel for tonight. Go ahead and schedule a consultation if you would like specific legal advice. I'm not your attorney. I haven't given you personalized legal advice. I've given you general information. So if you are in a situation and you need to figure out your options, you need representation in your process, go ahead and go to the link in the profile to schedule. It's going to lead you to the website. Scheduling coordinators are available up until 11 p.m. Eastern time to take your call and help you to schedule that consultation if you can't do it on your own. I want to remind you that I'm also on YouTube, so go ahead and put your questions in the comments whenever I'm here. I'm usually here at around 9 p.m. or a little after 9 p.m. to answer your questions. So look out for me tomorrow. You come with your questions, I will come with a topic, and we will continue this conversation. So thanks everyone for your questions. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for your time. I hope to see you tomorrow at around 9 p.m. Eastern time. Now, here's another thing though. I am not finished. I'm actually going to Instagram. Instagram is where most of my content is. You'll see videos throughout the day that give you tips, updates, and general information. So you can follow me there and then join me there in a minute to ask those questions. I see a few more questions. If you file for an extension and you're waiting on immigration, how long does it take? And it's so VADCA, the processing time you can always check on USCIS. I wouldn't be able to, I know you said an extension, but I'm not sure what the nature of the extension is, and so I wouldn't be able to tell you this. Did USCIS poverty guidelines change for 2022? So if you go to the uscis.gov's website and look for I-864P form, you'll see any updates there. If it's not updated, if you don't see 2022, then it's likely not updated yet. All right, have a good night. Join me on Instagram. I'm the Immigration Attorney on Instagram. Join me there if you'd like to continue with your questions. And hopefully if you don't have questions, you'll have questions tomorrow, or I'll talk to you in a consultation. Thanks so much for the love. I appreciate. So can you study while you are on AOS? Verses 1, 2, 3, maybe you can. You may have to cover your own costs. That's without getting financial aid. But I don't know what your underlying petition is. What are you applying based on? So you have to, your adjustment of status application has to be based on another type of application. So I would need to know that to really give you any kind of information. Have a good night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Or see you in a live in a minute on Instagram, The Immigration Attorney, or in a consultation. Have a good one.